All right, welcome to our rapid prototype using the Cricut machine to make a vinyl cutter sticker.
So you're going to start by going to the Makerspace website, which I'll give you the link to. And in the upper right corner, you're going to click, hover over Learn and head down to the vinyl sheet cutter. And we've got a ton of information. If we had more time, we would work through the basic modules on how to use the software and then try on some different really cool projects. We're going to head down to the rapid prototype. Go ahead and click on the follow these instructions. And this is where all the written instructions will show up. But what we can do now is, you'll see this also, is click on the link, which will take us to our design software. Now at this point, you are going to need to log in. So you're going to click up in the right corner, design, and give it a second, and go ahead, and you might need to create an account. So pause if you need to, and when you're signed in, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and get signed in here. All right, so I am now in my account and I'm going to go up and I'm going to click New Project. Now, I've already used this computer with the design software for the Cricut machine. So if you are prompted to download a plugin, you should do that. So pause the video and go ahead and get that all downloaded. It's totally safe and good to go. So take a minute to do that. Now, what's nice is you can use this software anywhere. So if you want, you could download, open this website up and you could do all of your designing at home, which is really, really great. So our goal today is to make a sticker that is easy and quick. And to do that, we're going to give you some parameters. So you can see in your design space, you've got an inch by inch mark grid. So your constraint is a sticker that is 6 by 6, pre-cut squares of vinyl that you will create your sticker on, different colors. So don't worry if you don't like the brown, whatever that is, but 6 by 6. Nothing fancy, right? This is a rapid prototype. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually do a little searching for some images over here. Now, some of these cost money. You can see where it says subscribes, and that's because you get a little free thing. Not always true. You can do filter and choose. You could say I want to have only the free ones or whatever. But since we have access, let's do this. So let's see. I want to find a bicycle. And let's see, scroll down, find one I like. Ooh, I like that. Let's click that. And then down here, move this, say insert image. Now it's going to go back. And again, my constraint is 6 by 6, so I can move it around. It tells me right now that it's 2.5 inches tall by 4.5 about inches wide. I can resize that. All right, I like that. I like that. And now 6 by 6, I want to leave a little bit of room on either side. But then I can also add some text in. So text, and I can write Mr. Hunter because I'm thinking this would be a cool sticker to put on my laptop. Move that up. And then up here, right, I have all my options. I can change my font. And again, some you gotta pay for, some are free. It depends on how fancy you want to be. Yeah, let's see. The more complex, the harder it's going to be. So something simple is a good idea. Um, I'm just going to leave it as is. I kind of like this font actually. But you can change the style, bold, font size. This is pretty intuitive. Move it around, move it around, move it around. So do whatever you want, but stay within that 6 by 6. All right, so I'm back. It did a little bit of work to get this picture set up. It's well within my constraints of 6 by 6. Some things I want to point out, you'll see on the right side, I have each of the elements. So I have the mountain picture that I found, the bike, and I rotated a little bit, right? My H and my Hunter and my Mister. They're all shown as separate layers over here. And what we want to make sure is that they are all with showing the little cutting icon. The device, the Cricut, has a bunch of different features. It can cut, write, score, or print. But what we really want is to cut. So as long as all of them, all these layers have that little scissors, you're good to go. Close that. maybe. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all. So I'm going to do a Control A, and I'm going to group all of these together. And then the next step is to weld them so that instead of it thinking it's a bunch of separate pictures, it's all one unit. And that's going to keep it together when we go to actually make it. Let's see, I'm 6 by 6 within that. So I've got a little bit of buffer space on top, bottom, and sides. So now I'm ready to go ahead and send it to the printer. So I'm going to select Make It. And I'm going to take a look. So now it's showing that it has the picture of the cutting area. And I'm going to make sure that it's kind of processing the image correctly. And everything looks good. I don't need to do anything here. I don't need to change this because we are going to manually put it in. But I do want to drag it. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be. So I'm going to have to make sure that I can get that within the 6 by 6. So when I put my piece of vinyl down, I'm noticing that I've got a little buffer room here. So I'm going to slide my vinyl over just a tiny bit so that the end doesn't get in. That's probably, I mean, there's other ways to fix that. That's an easy way to do it. Now, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to say continue. But I need to connect my machine. So now I need to, from the machine, white cord, USB, plug that in. And hopefully it'll recognize it. Now I also want to turn the machine on, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the power on. Okay, so now it's found it, our Explorer Air 2. Okay, so it says material set to vinyl. So now I'm going to switch. This dial here is on the vinyl setting. And then I do want to go ahead and open by pushing the button here. Might need to help it. So there's our cutter. And now I need to load my tools and my mat. So the next step is to take my mats, and there's a protective clear sheet. I'm going to peel that off, set that off to the side. And what you're going to find is that this is kind of sticky. So I'm going to take my vinyl square 6 by 6 and thinking about where that was, and I'm going to line it up so it just barely goes over the 6. And I'm going to push it down, make sure there's no bubbles, it's nice and flat. There's my vinyl stuck on there. And now you can see when we look in there, in the cut area, in our little picture, right, it's in that upper left corner. So I need to make sure that I'm now loading the mat in that orientation. So slide the mat under these two little tabs. And now I can push the load button. By doing that, it knows that I am ready to go. I'm not going to turn on fast mode. If I'm set, now I don't do it on the computer, but I push this little flashing blue light here. That's the go button. Before I do that, I want to make sure there's nothing in the way because that paper, that coating mat's going to slide back and forth. And here we go. So now already in here, right, in the Cricut machine, right there is a super sharp little tiny blade. And so if you look really closely, you'll be able to see what it's doing. Almost done here. And once the printer has finished, it will ask you to. So I'm going to go ahead and push the unload button. And there we go. We had a few little pieces that got distorted.
Now that our vinyl is cut, the next step is to remove the vinyl sticker from the sticky cutting mat. Flip it upside down and roll the mat off. Our next step is to remove all of the extra vinyl from the sticker, what we call weeding. This is a tricky part. You have to remove very carefully, and that little tiny weeder will help you get the small pieces that are hiding.
Okay, so do a little update. Now that we have our sticker weeded, we need to put the transfer paper or the transfer sheet on top of my sticker. To do that, I need to unroll some of the transfer material and then cut it to size, and then I'll place it on top. Now there is no paper backing, so the easiest way to do this is to unroll it with the sticky side up, cut it, and then place it on top of your sticker. So I'll show how to do that. So first I'm gonna unroll it. So I'm gonna find the edge. And I've got the sticky side up right now. What's nice is I can take my sticker and I can slide my sticker underneath of it. Now if you mess this up, your sticker is toast. Now I can use my sticker underneath to see how big this is. And I can go ahead and cut a straight line so that this piece of transfer film is big enough to go over my sticker. So there's my sticker. I'm going to take my transfer film and I'm going to place it on top. Place it nice and flat. Smooth down, get good adhesion. Right. And now I'm ready to go and apply my sticker. Now we're going to take the sticker with the contact paper on the top. We're going to very carefully, our goal is to apply it onto our laptop. Right? So we need to remove the backing of the actual vinyl. So this is, you gotta be really careful. Peel back slowly, paying attention to make sure that all the vinyl is sticking on the transfer paper, the contact paper. You take that off. Now, take your sticker, sticky side down, put it, no bubbles, and then push it down. And then rub it. Get as much of the air out. Okay, now the tricky part is to roll the contact paper back, leaving the sticker on the surface and not and with these thin words, that is tricky. Sometimes the little edges, you need to pinch it down with your finger. I like to pull the contact paper straight back, nice and slow, watching those leading edges as you go. Oh, hold it at the end there, push that down. And there we go. Now you might want to go and push it down with your fingers, make sure everything's on there. There is your sticker.